We've all received them. Those messages from supposed Etsy SEO specialists who claim that they can help you rank higher in search for a small fee. But are those specialists legit, and should you trust them with your Etsy shop? I'm not an Etsy SEO specialist. I'm an Etsy SEO doctor, and I'm here to set the record straight. What's up, Alphas? My name is Starla Moore, founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy and manager at eRank.com, Etsy's most popular Etsy SEO tool. And this week, an Etsy seller messaged me with a question that I'm sure we've all had at one point, which was, is it worth it to hire out my Etsy SEO? Sure, Etsy SEO is time-consuming, a little boring, and it takes a lot of time to master. Hiring out professional help is definitely a tempting option for anyone with a tight schedule. But before you do, here are some major facts and red flags to consider. First, has an Etsy SEO specialist reached out to you directly on Etsy with their offer? If so, run. Now, I'm sure I'll get a ton of hate from Etsy SEO specialists in the comments, but let's be real for a second. There's no debate here. Sending non-transactional messages on Etsy directly violates their terms of use. You're breaking the rules to offer your services, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence that they know Etsy's rules, or the more likely scenario, they just don't care, which is a huge red flag. Next, how many sellers does the specialist actually work with? A lot of SEO specialists will tell you about how they currently work with over 50 to 100 sellers, and that you can trust them with your shop, which sounds great, and maybe they are a good Etsy SEO specialist. But numbers aren't necessarily a good thing when it comes to an SEO specialist logging into your shop. Imagine this. You hire out a specialist to handle your SEO. You see that he works with a lot of other sellers, and you feel like this is evidence enough that he's safe to work with. Then Betty over here decides that she's going to begin selling Mickey Mouse greeting cards, and bam, her shop gets shut down. But because the SEO specialist was working on everyone's shop as well as Betty's, you are all connected by the specialist's IP address. It's like the ultimate viral cold. Etsy connects the dots and poof, all shops connected by this guy's IP get shut down, including yours. Now, in nearly 10 years on Etsy, I've seen this happen multiple times. And yes, a lot of these sellers do get their shops back, but it takes a lot of time and emails and communication back and forth with Etsy, and it's just one big headache that you should probably just try to avoid. So even if you do decide to work with an Etsy SEO specialist, make sure that you never give them your login information. Next, how well does that specialist actually know your niche? Your target market is a carefully researched and curated group of individuals who you share a special relationship with. You've put time into knowing who they are, what they like, and the language that most appeals to them. No one knows your audience the way that you do, including that random guy that you hired to do your Etsy SEO. Next, how often do you expect to pay this individual? SEO is not a practice of set it and forget it. Keyword popularity changes over time, which means what shoppers were searching for yesterday may not be searched for today. And though you may see some results from hiring out your SEO, in order to maintain those listings, you're gonna have to hire him again and again. Think of it like a flower garden. Sure, you can hire someone to tend to your garden, but if they only tend to it once, the garden will still become overgrown over time. This creates a vicious cycle where you have to keep paying someone again and again and again for upkeep. Which leads to my last point, how long do you expect to have this specialist around? I see it all the time. People will say that they hired an SEO specialist who did a great job and they noticed a new listing ranked higher, which is great, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the specialist did anything phenomenal. When you list a new item on Etsy, Etsy gives that listing a small boost in search in order to gather data about how people interact with it. The boost can last up to 90 days before you actually begin seeing your more organic rank. And if you aren't sure what organic rank is and why it matters in 2022, make sure that you watch this video here, for a full rundown. Basically, if a specialist did your Etsy SEO, it can take up to 90 days to even know if what they did actually worked, or if you're just seeing the normal boost from Etsy. And I'm not saying that all Etsy SEO specialists are bad eggs, but as a coach, I'm saying that it might be better and more cost efficient in the long run to just learn how to do it yourself. And yeah, it takes a lot of time to learn, but so does everything that's worth doing. And the cool thing about SEO is once you know it, you freaking know it. You don't have to spend money every time you want to list something new on Etsy, nor do you have to continue paying someone every time trends change. Rather than paying a specialist hundreds of dollars, just grab yourself a $5.99 per month eRank account, create a keyword list, add keywords related to your products and industry into that list, and keep an eye on them if you decide to place them in your listings. Test those keywords for 30 to 90 days. Keep the words that maintain searches and led to views, favorites, and sales. Ditch the words that died in popularity, or if they're seasonal like Christmas gifts for mom, save them for next year. And as I've said several times in the past, though I do work for eRank, I don't get paid to recommend it. I've been using eRank for years and way before I actually started working for them. eRank is my very, very favorite Etsy SEO tool simply because it's the most cost efficient and it has the most tools for that price. And if you don't have the $5.99 per month to spend, there you have a free membership as well, so you can start poking around now. Now, as you might have noticed already, this video has a little donate button somewhere. Make sure that you click that button and donate at least $1 if you found this information useful, because that is going directly to our charity in Ukraine. As of the time of recording this video, we've raised over $10,000 through our charities that we have been adding to every single video. So we want to keep that momentum rolling. Make sure that you click that button and help out our friends in Ukraine. Like I said, it only takes $1 to make a huge difference. And collectively, that money is adding up. Now, assuming that you made it until the very end, make sure that you comment down below and let me know what Etsy SEO topic that you would like to learn about next. And then make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. That way you don't miss that video when I do. Overall, SEO is a necessary skill that can mean success or failure on Etsy. With a little science, a lot of data, and some help from a trusted Etsy SEO expert, you'll be well on your way to Etsy success. Cue the funky lo-fi beat.